Hey guys, how's it going? If you are struggling to build speed and you're struggling to shred and pick across the strings, then this video is for you, because today we're going to talk about diagonal picking. So for many years I worked on my picking technique, but I could not play across the strings. So whenever I wanted to shred, I would stick to single string stuff and tremolo kind of stuff. Right, that sort of stuff, and I thought, well, I'm able to pick fast, so why can't I shred? And then I realized I didn't have a problem with my picking technique per se, but more with what my hand was actually doing when I picked across the strings. And that's when I discovered diagonal picking, and it just unlocked the door to be able to shred across all the strings. But what is diagonal picking? So all it is it's how our hand moves across the strings while we're picking. So basically, when we're picking on guitar and when we're shredding, we want to keep our picking consistent. So if my hand is here and I want to pick from the low E string to the high E string, like this, as I'm picking down the strings, or if I'm going back up, I'm relying on my wrist, and what's happening is my picking angle changes on each string. And I realized I don't want that. I want to keep my picking consistent. If I have my pick at this angle on this string, I want to keep it at the same angle on another string. And so if you're picking up and down like this, that's almost impossible to do. So instead of picking up and down, we can pick diagonally. And once we start picking diagonally, we can keep our pick at the exact same angle. So how do we do it? Basically, we're relying on the elbow and the shoulder. So a lot of guitarists, when they're picking, they anchor their hands to the guitar, and there's absolutely no movement from the elbow or shoulder, and that's completely fine. Some of the greatest guitarists ever do that, so I'm not saying it's wrong. But I find it way easier to use my forearm as an anchor, right, where I'm kind of leaning on the guitar with my forearm, not too much, because obviously we have to be moving our arm up and down, so we don't want to put a lot of pressure on it. But what we're doing is just kind of resting our forearm on the guitar like that, and that creates an anchor, which then leaves our hand completely open, and we can pick in whichever way we want. So what I like to do is I like to think of the guitar strings as a staircase. At the low E string, we're on top of the staircase, and on the high E string, we're at the bottom of the staircase. So when we're picking, instead of picking up and down, we're moving from each string as if we're taking steps down and up a staircase. We want to start by picking close to the bridge. Obviously, you don't want to go too close to the bridge. Right, you want to have space for your palm as well so that you can mute while you play. So I would say when you're starting on the low E string, just rest your palm near the bridge like that, and then you'll start picking somewhere closer to the middle. So now if I play an E Phrygian scale, as I move to each string, my hand's going to go down like this and then back up. And like with the regular staircase, the steps are usually a similar distance, right? It would be very jarring if each step was a different size and a different height. So what you really want to focus on is that consistency as you're moving across the strings. You want to have the same sort of distance that you move each time. And obviously, when you're picking on the high E string, you don't want to be picking so close that you're actually picking the fretboard. So yeah, just take a scale like the one I've just showed you, like the E Phrygian, and practice playing it up and down, and just focus on that movement of the arm. The more you practice it slowly, that speed will come, and it will come naturally to you. And once you have this down, you'll find that you don't just have to use this for alternate picking or economy picking, you can use it for sweep picking as well. The only thing you just have to make sure you've got down is your picking technique on a single string. Right, if you have the wrong picking angle on any string, it's not going to help if you just apply that same angle to different strings. So if you are someone who picks up and down instead of across and diagonally like that, find which string is the easiest to pick as your picking angle changes. And then however your hand is positioned, use that same angle for all the other strings. So let's say I'm picking up and down and the E string is rough. Don't like it. A string is rough. D string is rough. But then I've tilted my hand like that for the G string, and I find that the most comfortable, then I can use that angle to pick across all the strings if I'm doing it diagonally. So now I'm going to show you a little exercise that's really going to help you focus on this kind of movement. We're going to be using the E Phrygian 3-note per string shape, the one I played before, right? But instead of just playing it down and up, the exercise is going to look like this. Right, so this exercise focuses on going up the scale a bit, then we go back to the beginning, then we go back and we go a little further and we come back to the beginning, and then we go further and further each time until we play the whole scale fully across all the strings and come back to the beginning. Going back to the stair analogy for this exercise, we're going to imagine that we are on the top of the stairs, and let's say the stairs are going down like this. So what we're doing in this exercise is we're taking a step down onto the first step, we're going back up to the top, but then the second time we're going down 2 steps and then back to the top, and then we're going down 3 steps and then we're going back to the top until we get to the bottom of the staircase and we go all the way back up. This exercise is also a lot like doing shuttle runs for those of you who do any sports. But anyway, to play this exercise, it's going to go like this. We're going to go to the low E string, and we're going to start on the 12th fret, and we're going to play 12, 13, 15. And then on the A string, we're going to play 12, 14, 15. And then we're going to go back the way we came. So we're going to go 14, 12 on the A, and then on the lower E, it's going to be 15, 13, 12. So that's, so all together that's, and now we're back at the beginning, so we're going to do the same thing again, except we're going to go up to the D string. And when we get to the D string, we're going to play 12, 14, 15. The same as with the A string. So it's going to look like this. Except once we get there, we're going to go back the way we came. So 14, 12 on the D string, 15, 14, 12 on the A string, and 15, 13, 12 on the low E. So it's going to be, so all together that's, and this time we're going to go even further. We're going to go down to the G string. So everything's going to stay the same, except when we get to the G string, it's going to be 12, 14, 16. So going down from the beginning, it's going to look like this. And now we're going to go back the way we came. So it's going to be 14, 12 on the G string, 15, 14, 12 on the D, 15, 14, 12 on the A, and 15, 13, 12 on the low E. So it's going to go. And now we're going to repeat that, except we're going to go up to the B string. And when we get to the B string, it's going to be 13, 15, 17. So all together that's, and we're going to go back the way we came. So it's going to be 15, 13 on the B string, and then 16, 14, 12 on the G string, 15, 14, 12 on the D string, 15, 14, 12 on the A string, and 15, 13, 12 on the low E. So that's going to be, and now for the last part of the exercise, we're going all the way up to the high E string. So everything stays the same, except when we get to the high E string, we're going to be playing 13, 15, 17. Like we did on the B string. So altogether that's going to be, right, that's the whole scale across all the strings. And now we're going to go back the way we came. So it's going to be 15, 13 on the high E, then 17, 15, 13 on the B, 16, 14, 12 on the G, 15, 14, 12 on the D, 15, 14, 12 on the A, and 15, 13, 12 on the low E. So that's going to be, so So we're going to put that all together, and we're really going to focus on that diagonal picking. So we're going to go down with a small diagonal movement, go back up, and each time we're just going further and further down like that, and back the way we came. And that's all there is to it. And once you get more comfortable, you'll be able to play scale runs a lot easier. And you won't feel trapped on single strings when you're shredding. Right guys, but it's time for you to go practice, so that's all from me today. If you did make it this far, thank you very much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it or you learned something, please consider leaving a like or a comment. And obviously you can subscribe for more as well if you want to. And by the way guys, the channel has just reached 1,000 subscribers, and I'm super chuffed, so I just wanted to give you all a massive thank you if you have subscribed already. You guys are awesome. But anyway guys, good luck with your practicing, and I hope you have an awesome day further, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.